Hey there, it's Jim and Debbie, and this is the Meaning of Life episode of the Midday Minute.
Episode 42, huh?
Yeah, you get that reference?
I don't.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Didn't read
42
it.
is the meaning of everything.
Well, thanks for letting me know. It's also a special day because it is your birthday.
That's true. We are recording on my birthday. As I was trying to tell my kids on the way to school today, it is the most important day of the year. James said, no, Christmas is, and then Easter. Those are behind me.
She's so pious, yes.
She is. She very is.
Yes.
Yeah. And she was like this as she said it. So today's episode, Debbie.
Not the birthday episode?
Not the birthday episode, and nor is it the baseball episode. It is ENF Month. It's October is ENF Month, and so we are going to celebrate by bringing Ashley Hart on the show to talk about the Fidelity Club. She coordinates the Fidelity Club. Don't worry, this is not a pledge episode, but we just wanted to talk a little bit more about how much the Fidelity Club means to us and maybe answer some questions that our viewers might have about that program. And no better person to do that than Ashley, who coordinates it for us.
That's right. I'm excited to talk about it.
Right. But first, we have a winner to announce.
We sure do, Jim. For episode 41, our comment contest winner is Jay Kiefer. How about it?
Good old Jay Kiefer from Livingston, Montana Lodge, number 246. He's been hard at work trying to win the comment contest. In episode 42, the Meaning of Life episode, was your chance, Jay. Congratulations.
Congratulations. All
Jay did was comment on last week's episode, or the last episode of the Midday Minute, with the hashtag ENF Midday. That's all you have to do for a chance to be entered into a drawing to win a $100 soft credit to the ENF funded program of your choice. Jay, we're going to need you to tell us how you would like us to apply that soft credit. Which ENF funded program would you like to support? You can tell us in the comments below or email us at enf@elks.org and we will get that soft credit going. Right?
Cool. Yeah. Did he also comment on his favorite baseball team? I can't remember.
I think he did, but I'll tell you what, Debbie, baseball is dead to me.
Wow.
I was riding a high 2 weeks ago, and I think that day we recorded, the White Sox won that day. They lost the next two. They fired their manager. They fired their pitching coach, and it's a dark day on the south side of Chicago. I haven't watched a single pitch since the White Sox were eliminated. I've been following along on my phone. You know, shout out to
I don't even know who's
one of our loyal middies, Rita Smith, big fan of the Tampa Bay Rays. They're 2 games away from reaching this World Series for the second time in their history.
What's going on in Florida, man?
I know they won the Lightning
too.
won the Stanley Cup, and now the Rays look like they're in the driver's seat at least to make it to the World Series.
Amazing. Anyway, baseball is dead to us.
Baseball is dead to us. You know what's not dead? The ENF.
That's right.
Without further ado, let's bring Ashley in here and talk about the Fidelity Club. Ashley should be arriving momentarily. There she is, coming at us from her home office. Ashley, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
I'm good. It's good to see you guys.
Hi, Ashley.
Why don't you tell our viewers who you are? Who is Ashley Hart?
Who am I? What a big question. I'll focus on the ENF stuff. So I've been at the foundation for about 2.5 years. I'm in the donor services department. I was originally hired for Fidelity Club outreach. So a lot of my job is talking about the Fidelity Club, thinking about ways that we can promote it, and talking with our Fidelity Club donors and encouraging chairs to share the Fidelity Club in their lodge. And then since the pandemic, that role has kind of evolved a little bit. I've started doing more of the back-end processing of the Fidelity Club. So processing those recurring gifts, being a touch point and that person that Fidelity Club members can call if they have any issues with their account, say they need to update their credit card, increase or cancel their gift. So it's been nice being able to see kind of the back-end process when I'm working with those donations and seeing what's working, you know, how are people signing up and how are they responding to what we have to share?
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Fidelity Club in the context of the pandemic. I mean, we've always been grateful to our Fidelity Club donors. They're reliable they renew at such a high rate. Obviously, they're very important donors to us, and we've been trying to grow the program. But in particular, during this pandemic, the first couple of months, especially when everything was closed, and so much of our fundraising happens at the lodge level, it's on the backs of our volunteers. And they raise money for us and they send it into the lodges. Well, the lodges were closed. And so funds were very slow to come in. We were 37% down. Fundraising in April is down 37% compared to an average of the previous 4 years. And the only reason it was doing as well as it was is because of Fidelity Club, because that money was rolling in and we could count on it. And that's been the case.
Yeah, and I remember too when that pandemic started, we were all getting our bearings straight, right? Donor services had to adapt of how we were accepting donations, and as you said, lodges were closing, and it's almost like we still felt okay, like we didn't have to worry because we had this kind of foundation base that we could rely on. We could still be getting those gifts in, and what was so amazing too, and first of all, shout out to all the Fidelity Club members that have stuck with us during this really challenging time. Your support is so appreciated. And thank you also to the Fidelity Club donors that increased their gift. I think we were all really surprised to see how many people were reaching out to us, saying, can I please increase my gift and give more at this time? And I think that was just really surprising and really reassuring. And I think the foundation, we kind of set ourselves up for success by having this program in place as everything started to shift online.
Yeah, and as you said, one of the few changes we had to make during the pandemic was on the processing side of it. We didn't for the Fidelity Club, we didn't really have to worry about it. We had to figure out, because we didn't have staff in the office in the first few months at all. We just had to figure out what kind of processing changes we needed to make for that program. It was a reliable source of revenue for us, and man, we can't understate our gratitude, I guess.
Seriously.
Well, it was a reliable source of gratitude of income for us because of donations for us, because it's a monthly giving program. I don't know if we said that.
Yeah.
So for everybody who's watching, I'm sure most people know what the Fidelity Club is, but I think if there's anybody that's watching that doesn't, just a reminder that it is our monthly giving program.
Yeah, and why don't we tell people how it works?
Sure. So the Fidelity Club is both a recognition program and a method of giving. So a lot of people are familiar with Foundation Fellowship, which is our annual recognition, and cumulative recognition. But Fidelity Club is focused, and like Debbie said, it's focused on the way in which you are giving, and we're recognizing and thanking people for their consistency of giving, not exactly the amount. So to be in the Fidelity Club, really minimum gift is $5 a month or $15 quarterly. And that's something that can go through your credit card, from your checking account, and it's just this automated, sustainable way of giving. So much like you might have your magazine subscription every month or your Netflix subscription, it's kind of this process that's running in the background. Yeah.
So you mentioned that some people have called to upgrade during the pandemic. Any calls stand out to you?
Yes. I had a call, I think it was in September, when the California fires were raging. And this woman called from California, and she was really urgent to kind of check this thing off her list. She wanted to increase her gift. And what I love about those calls is, even though they're very technical, it's kind of this moment with the donor services person that's not always out in the field like you and Debbie. It's like these phone calls are kind of my way of connecting. So I was checking in to make sure she was doing okay. She's like, oh yeah, I have my evacuation plan. I'm packing up my stuff, leaving today. We're going over here. And I was like, and on your to-do list was to call us and to increase your gift. And it was so heartwarming. And I was thanking her, and she was thanking me and the foundation. And I just love that relationship that we have with our donors, is that we really can't do our work without them. And their trust in us and their passion for the work that we do and the resources that we share with their lodge for them to do that work is just so fulfilling on both ends.
We've been treading very carefully in this fundraising environment because we want to be respectful. There's a lot of people are struggling right now. Roughly half the country is in a much different financial and economic situation than the other half, and we're trying to be mindful of that. So to have donors reach out to us is really pretty incredible. And also, it just takes a big weight off of our shoulders.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Amazing to think that she did that the day she was evacuating. I mean,
Yeah, that's something.
What a testament to the dedication.
Right. Well, we tend not to think about, again, as fundraisers, we think about, we're trying to go out and raise money and how do we ask? And sometimes we don't think about like the service we're providing to people who want to help and the way we can be an outlet to people who want to do things, who want to help their communities, who want to serve through donations.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit. Well, I want to talk about the recognition piece of it. But before we get to that, are there any like people who have been around for a really long time? Like, what's our longest member of the Fidelity Club?
Yes. Well, if anyone is in Lodge 2160, go ahead and thank Ron Wilson in Wickenburg, Arizona. He has one of the highest levels that we have with Fidelity Club is 200 recurring gifts in a row, and he has reached that level. And we had to create that level because he had been in the Fidelity Club kind of before it started. So what's great about the Fidelity Club recognition is that it's almost endless, right? Where as the program has been around for longer, we're recognizing more and more recurring gifts. So like for example, when you get to 12 gifts, you get the Fidelity Club pin. This one's mine. And then I don't have my attachment with me, but once you reach 25 gifts, you start getting attachments for your pin. So it makes a set. And then you have 50, 100, 150, it just keeps going up. And then when you sign up, automatically you are in our Fidelity Club honor roll and your lodge is mentioned. And then we do have a newsletter that we send to our Fidelity Club donors called the Fidelity Feed. And as Kate Edsey puts it, it's kind of our like peek behind the curtain, and we like to kind of share our gratitude to our Fidelity Club donors by kind of giving them like a sneak into what it is that kind of goes on behind the scenes in the foundation.
So that's, going back to Ron, like 200 gifts, 200 monthly gifts, that's like more than 16 years of supporting the foundation through this program. That's incredible.
Yeah, and it's definitely, the program has been around for a while. I think within the last couple of years, we've really seen a lot of traction, especially we did a big promotion of the Fidelity Club at last convention, which was my first convention. And I think we all had a really great time at the booth.
If people didn't see it, they probably heard you, because every time somebody joined the Fidelity Club, we would ring that bell, right?
Yeah.
Do you have that bell at home with you, Ashley?
I wish, but my neighbors would hate it.
It was a giant cowbell. That was
Yes, it was
a lot of fun.
I remember Jim enjoying ringing it the most.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, that was good stuff. But so we've really been trying to promote it since you came on board. So a lot of people think it's new, but it's not. It's been around for a while. But one of our goal is new, and we're trying to, we'd like to get to about 5% of our donor base as members of the Fidelity Club. And roughly, do you know where we are currently?
I'm not sure where we're at currently. I think we do have our upcoming file analysis, so we might get some more clarity on that. But I think our goal is very, very doable, and the amount of signups that we've seen during the pandemic alone was just just very surprising. And yeah.
Well, like you mentioned earlier, the pandemic certainly made the Fidelity Club and online giving just as easy as it could be, right? It was already easy, but in this world that we're living in now, I mean, not having to worry about it and being able to do that completely through the website is obviously makes a lot of sense for the times we're in.
Yeah, it has been essential to our work the past few months. So I'll answer the question. We're around 2.6% or so of our donor base is currently members of the Fidelity Club. So we have a little bit ways to go, but it's been growing. It's been growing pretty well. And one of the ways we're trying to facilitate that growth now is by sort of aligning other programs, recognition programs, et cetera, with this goal. And one of the things we did this year is we introduced another gratitude grant bonus. So lodges that achieved a certain bonus, a certain level of Fidelity Club participation got an additional $500 for their gratitude grant. Now, can you explain how that bonus works?
think we're all trying to figure out the best way to explain it.
Yeah.
My understanding is that
all the grants coordinators are hopefully tuning in right now.
Yeah. I'll take a stab at it. I was joking.
Go for it.
So it's, for this first year that we did it, and it was based on participation last year, lodges that had at least 10% of their members supported the foundation. Okay. That unlocked the ability to earn this bonus if 10% of those donors were in the Fidelity Club. Simple, right? So we recognized that that doesn't roll right off the tongue. We've actually created a new report on the website that simplifies things a little bit, tracking your progress, and is probably what we will base next year's bonus on. And that is, we're looking at your donors in the previous year, and 5% of those donors, that's your goal for the Fidelity Club. So whatever your donors total was last year, and we can break this down on the lodge level, we would like 5% of them to be members of the Fidelity Club this year. And if you can do that, you will earn a $500 bonus for your gratitude grant.
So this year, 31 lodges received the bonus, right?
The bonus, and that was without those lodges didn't even know.
They didn't even know. Exactly.
So now lodges know this is going to be a thing, so they can strive to earn that bonus.
Right.
And that's the idea of the bonus, right? We need to enlist the help of our, as I said a while back, like most of our fundraising happens at the lodge level, and so we need to enlist the help of our chairs if we're going to achieve this goal of the 5% of our donor base supporting or giving to the Fidelity Club. So at this point, any of our viewers who aren't already members have probably been persuaded to join the Fidelity Club. Like, how do they do that? Like, how does the program work mechanically? How do you join? How do you manage your gift, et cetera?
Sure. So if you want to know more information, you can definitely visit our Fidelity Club homepage, and that's enf.elks.org/Fidelity Club. And on there, you can either click the link to our donation page and join online, or some people are more comfortable over the mail. You can print a form. And also your fundraising chairs have resources. And if your lodge is open at the time, or at this time, you may have some Fidelity Club sign-up cards in your lodge, or your chair might have some resources to share with you as well. And we are always welcome to call us. We are here to support you. So if you have any questions or any hesitations, you are welcome to call me or our pledges line, which is 773-755-4764. And any of us will be able to chat you through that process.
Debbie, are you convinced?
Oh, I've been convinced since the get-go. Proud member. I've got my attachments. I don't have them at home with me there at the office, but yeah, love the Fidelity Club.
And Debbie, weren't you the one that coined the name?
Yes, I should have a little in the back of that pen. I should get like a credit.
Get an engraving.
Right. It's a good thing we don't have to pay royalties to Debbie for her good ideas. Debbie's, by the way, or later this week or next week, will be celebrating her 16th anniversary with the foundation.
Yes.
So.
How about it?
All right. Well, Ashley, thank you so much for joining us on the show today to educate us a little bit about the Fidelity Club. And, again, for people watching who want to know the best way to support the foundation, this is it, the Fidelity Club. Members are our most reliable, consistent, steady donors, and really were, critical. Again, we can't overstate how much they meant to us during the first few months of the pandemic, especially.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to all our Fidelity Club donors. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks, Ashley. Nice job. All right. All right, I can barely hear you, Debbie.
You can barely hear me.
No, take off your headphones.
Better?
Yeah, that's better. Okay.
All right.
So, all right. Anything else you want to hit on before we go?
Like I said, I do love talking about the Fidelity Club. Obviously, we're both members of the club, and just what you have been pointing out as of late, right, that our reliability, our ability to rely on donations from the Fidelity Club members that are designated and ongoing cannot be understated. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to say, of course, is where we're at. We're almost at 1,000 gratitude grant approvals. So how about
Oh,
that?
that's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
970. So that's pretty exciting. And we're nearing, I think, 3,000 approved grants. So it's going.
Yeah, it's going to be a banner year for the SIP.
Right.
You know, the changes we made, the tweaks we made to the guidelines have made it much easier for lodges to secure those funds and put them to work in their communities. So it's been it feels really good that we've been able to help the lodges serve their communities during this crisis.
Absolutely. And we're already thinking about how to put together a survey to send to the lodges just so that they can tell us exactly what they were able, you know, obviously we know what they were able to do, but we want to hear what it meant to them. And if there's anything that they'd like us to consider for, you know, next grant year. So.
All right. Well, Debbie, do you know what separates us from the animals?
I do, Jen.
It's our thumbs, these guys right here. So let's go ahead and use them. If you like this episode, give us a thumbs up. If not, a thumbs down. Either way, please share it far and wide with your social network so that we can get the word out about the work that we're doing. And if you're not already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, hit that button and tap the bell so you'll be notified every time we post new content. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.
Have a great day. Happy birthday.
Thanks, Debbie.
All
Bye,
right.
guys.
See you. Bye, everybody.